Agree or disagree? Hey, I get one of those, don't I?
Yeah, bro, you get one. Here you go, Juan Talamela.
Yeah, all right, we're going to go on to one of our first ones. It's going to be nobody wants more Fire Emblems characters on Super Smash Brothers. Holy cow, let me get it out. Woo!
So basically we're done with, I mean, obviously the Smash Bros roster is done, but you're talking about during the announcements of Smash characters.
Dude, I just don't want any more.
I'm going to put my thumb up because I will admit I was one of those people so hyped about every Smash announcement. Every time it was another dang Fire Emblem character, I would throw my mouse and be like, I don't care anymore. Enough. We have 20 of them. No, I don't know how many we have.
I would say I'm a little bit more on board on that just because I don't play the Fire Emblem games too much, and I don't care to see their characters in it. So I'm going to agree. I don't want them anymore, but it's up to you guys.
We peaked at Roy and Marth.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to agree, but I do love playing those characters, but at the same time, I'm like, who are some of these characters?
Yeah, that's what it was. And I get it because, like, right, we never played those type of games very much. So it was more like this. They announced, and now up next, Pyra. I'm like, who? And I'm like, dude, I'm a Nintendo fan. Like, I feel like I lose my Nintendo card when I'm scratching my head at the announcements.
All I main is Fire Emblem characters.
Really? Don't you suck at the game, though?
I don't even play Super Smash Bros.
Oh, wow, dude. I think I'm just not like
a... nothing to me. I've only played that game like once or twice, so I could care less.
Oh, okay.
I just like how you're just like waiting to say it, too.
I mean, I think Smash, they were so smart to listen to the big draws that everybody wanted. Everybody wanted Ridley. Everybody wanted Banjo-Kazooie. These are the ones the internet flipped out on. Now, I will say, I guess it works both ways because I will admit, as much as that was my reaction to like Fire Emblem characters and stuff like that, I will say that I would see, younger YouTube streamers or younger Twitch streamers, they saw like Simon Belmont announced and they're like, who? And I was like, wow. We're old. Like, they don't know who Simon Belmont is. Curtis is still wondering who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there that many Fire Emblem?
Do you really not know?
No.
Stop it.
He's messing with us.
No.
Swear on your life.
I swear on my life.
Swear, shake my hand.
I will.
It's Castlevania.
No, I never really played those games as much. I wouldn't know the name for it.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Like I said, younger YouTube people.
But so you're younger. Is there that many Fire Emblem like people that like Fire Emblem? I know it's a popular game, but I didn't.
So like competitively, I've seen a lot of people use like Blythe and those type of characters, and like they're just, I feel like they're kind of OP on those games compared to like the normal characters you would normally see, like Mario and Pikachu and all that stuff.
There was a period where I mained Roy. Roy's our boy.
Roy's
our GameCube. Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like that was just an overpowered sword swing every time I faced one of those guys.
Very powerful.
So, I don't know, man. I'm not a big RPG fan either, so, I mean, it just didn't really play into my funness.
Yes.
But we're going to go on to our next one. It's going to be, there will never be another game like Def Jam Fight for New York. Now, I saw this because I saw this, like, someone talking about it, so I'll wait.
Yeah, let us... Oh, I would say give me a little more marination experience.
Okay, so...
I'm not a big Def Jam fight
so Def Jam Fight for New York, it's basically like all the early 2000 rappers, like you had Lil Kim, Exhibit, you had Snoop Dogg. I only am saying this is that there won't be another game like that is because artists know their value now. So I don't expect them all to agree to be on the same game without getting their pay.
I would say... So sure, I'll agree with you, but I like this more as a conversation. I kind of like this. I'm not necessarily worried about my vote on this because this is interesting to me. That's an interesting topic, actually.
And so, like, I think it's just because, like, you have all these individuals who are wanting to get their money nowadays. Like, artists just know their value to where it's like, if you were to put Taylor Swift in a game, just know that game's going to be $1 zillion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is there anything like that current? Like, where... They're like, Celebrity Deathmatch or
that's what I was saying.
Def Jam, but has there been anything recently
where you can customize and fight those characters?
Well, this doesn't count the same, but Death Stranding was Norman Reedus from Walking Dead, Daryl, but that's just one.
Yeah.
Let me give you like some of the list of characters that are actually on Def Jam.
I'd love to hear. Can I guess one?
Is Method Man on there? He's got to be. I never really played Def Jam myself either.
Let me.
Is
Ice Cube on there?
Biggie Smalls?
Biggie Smalls would have been awesome.
Is Eminem on there?
No.
Racist.
Let me do it right now. Let me look up the character list from it. And it's pretty big. So let's see.
Come on, blind
So,
man.
so the funny part is, why is Joe Budden on there? He wasn't like
Joe
really.
Biden's on there? No. That's what I heard
No,
too.
no, Joe
Superpower
Budden.
talking?
Joe Budden. So there was Kimora Lee. Remember
don't know
her?
who that is.
You don't remember Russell Simmons' ex-wife.
Isn't that a fighting move?
I don't know who that is.
A Kimura Lee?
No
I don't know
way.
who that is.
Sodom and Kimura?
So yeah, Lil Kim, Ludacris. Well, yeah,
Ludacris.
sure. Method Man was on there. You had oh my gosh, there's a crazy amount of people on here. Prodigy, Redman was on there. Fat Joe. Yeah, Flavor Flav. I remember Flavor Flav, dude. That was crazy.
Boy.
Yeah, boy. Ice-T was in there. Even Jacob the Jeweler, the guy who used to make like jewelry for high-end.
He's in there?
Yeah.
You know.
See, I've never really played the game, but I would disagree that they would never come out with that again.
Really?
One, because that game is superly popular right now.
Yeah.
Price wise too. It is like, I think it's like $150.
I got it for $3
PS2
last
right
year.
now. Did you? Yeah, I think it's up to $150. There has always been just such a like scene behind it. People love it. I think it's been long enough now that like you could have some pretty awesome characters that aren't on that list. Even some older ones like Eminem's and 50 Cents and stuff like that. But there's enough newer rappers like Kanye's not even new, but Kanye could be on there. I don't know.
Who is a new rapper? Takashi something?
No.
Yeah, you would put Tekashi 6ix9ine would certainly be in there. But I think a lot of those rappers have enough big names and followings. Like, it would be pretty awesome if they did release that.
Yeah.
Is there current big rappers right now? Like, who are the big?
I mean,
names?
like it's like if you were to see like a game with like Drake, or you would see like a game with like
Kanye.
Like even if like a throwback, you saw like a Mac Miller on there, a Post Malone. These are white rappers. And then also,
Thanks for clarifying.
It's not, Aaron. It's not the same rap as back in the day.
It's not,
This
too.
is more
These are-
R&B.
Is it mumble rap?
yeah, like, but I mean, like it depends, right? Like you would have to sign these artists to a deal to be
I
able
don't
to
know
get
how
the
they ever
rights.
put that together with Def Jam. Who on earth did that, and how did they get the rights to do it? I have no idea. But I mean, one thing I would say is those rappers are probably always down for a few extra bucks. And I would think that they would enjoy it if somebody came to them and was like, "Hey, you can be in this game. You're going to get X, Y, Z." I would be like, "Shit,
$1 million
I-
in a game, yeah,
I
$1 million
always-
bucks, $500,000."
Yeah, I always wondered like how they even did like skating ones. You know what I mean? Where they had to actually get like P-Rod.
You can watch. I forget the name of the podcast. The 9 Club. Tony Hawk lays out how much he made.
Yeah, no, I actually did watch that.
Multi-millions
He
of
said
dollars.
he said he didn't realize that he was getting a ton of money until he saw his first check cut for the first like
Yeah.
sell of his game, and he was like, "That's just one check."
Was it
And
like $4 million or something?
it was
for these?
something
Yeah.
insane.
He's probably made
Oh,
$500 million off of
Oh,
that.
dude, that was such a big franchise for a while. I mean, it still is. They've kind of fallen a little bit. Then they did the HD remasters, which were nice. But
Well, and like I don't know how they do it with like NFL games and MLB games. They probably just have one like thing that licensed, and then it just gets trickled through like MLB or NFL. So obviously you don't have that with rappers, but
Yeah, I don't know.
think they could figure it out.
It would be cool. I would honestly
It would
love,
be
love
pretty
to see
awesome,
it.
actually. Yeah, I think
Even-
people would buy it for sure.
I mean, even if they did throwbacks of those like characters that are maybe like, I mean, like people that maybe aren't like here. Like if you had like a Tupac Biggie like fight.
Yeah, like Tupac and Biggie, like in it.
That'd be
would
insane.
incredible.
Legends
Like
collection.
legends, yeah.
like they did with the WWF games, it was like Legends, and it had like
Yeah.
on the cover.
that was cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'd
that'd
want to
be-
play
that-
as Biggie Smalls versus.
Yeah.
Interesting topic.
Dude, that actually makes me like want to like play Def Jam again, right through it all.
Like,
Like
if
where
you
you can
could-
customize
Good luck
yourself with
buying
like
it.
platinum. Yeah, $200, dude.
Yeah.
If you could
We
play
would never
Biggie's-
emulate.
Biggie Smalls versus Tupac in a game, that'd be pretty awesome.
gosh.
That'd be pretty
Oh
epic.
boy.
Dude, imagine just like any of those type of like older rappers to fight each other. Like what if you had your 3-6 Mafia fighting some people, dude?
I saw people in the comments like, "Hey, Riv,
Riv,
that
what?
flex, my boy." I was like, Let's go.
yeah. All right, we're gonna go on to our next one. We might sound like dumb people just talking,
We
but
know we are.
yeah, but we're gonna go on to this one. It's gonna be movie theaters are still the best way to watch movies.
Oh man, I want to agree so bad, but when
So
I'm gonna say yes overall.
so
gonna
all of
say
them
yes.
agree, and then I'm disagreeing with it. So I'm gonna let you guys.
I
kinda
will
go.
say I just saw Godzilla -1 in theaters.
Oh, such a good
fantastic movie.
So good.
But I knew it the second this lady sat down next to me, and I was like, gosh dang it. I could just tell she's one of those fidgeters, kind of talks a little too loud, like when she talks to her husband. And it didn't ruin the movie for me, but I would find myself thinking like, oh, I hope she doesn't talk during this part. So it pushed me out. There was a couple scenes in that movie where it goes pitch silent for like 30 seconds. And I was out of the moment because I was thinking, oh man, I hope she doesn't make a noise to ruin this moment, which in return ruined my moment of being in that moment. So it just depends. I know there's people who will have their phone on, which Chris said he does and turns his brightness on really low, which really messes with it. I will say it still is the best because it's just, there's so much to it. You can get the popcorn. I want the experience. I want the popcorn. I want the crap candy. I want to have the processed junk, which you sneak in before, obviously. You go to the store before and sneak it in. But I still will say it's the best way, so I agree. But I do have my hiccups.
You can go.
I agree with it too because I love the family aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm sitting at home, it is so difficult for me, like with my wife and son, to be like, "Hey, come watch a movie." They're all like, "What? We're doing something." "No, I'm cooking." "No, I'm got to do laundry." Like if I'm like, "Hey, we have a movie time at 7:45. Like we got to go now." I get my whole family together. I get to all go in, sit down. It's quiet. Nobody's getting up, getting distracted in the house.
Yeah.
Plus the popcorn and stuff.
Ricky, what's
too.
your favorite movie snack?
My favorite movie snack?
Yeah.
Ooh. It's like the worst afterwards.
Skittles?
Sour Skittles.
I knew
It's so good but at the end, I'm like, oh, what did I just eat?
My wife and son are sour everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't eat sour. I can't do anything sour. It makes me literally go.
It hurts.
Like it hurts my mouth so bad.
It's like Flaming Hot Cheetos. You eat it and you know it burns, but you just keep
eating it.
I remember having Flaming Hot Cheetos so many. The bathroom that night felt like Satan was passing through my anus.
Like a flamethrower.
Was this
Yes.
was this the original Hot Cheetos? Because I swear they're different now.
Yeah, the OG the 90s Hot Cheetos when there was no regulations.
Those did not pass very well.
I just was. What about you, Curtis?
My favorite snack was Bunch of Crunch. I don't know if you guys ever knew those ones.
You were so white.
Dude, that's my favorite candy. The rice chocolate candy. Those are my favorite, dude. I used to get those and the watermelon Sour Patch.
Those are good. Those are great. Those
were killer.
I like
dude.
just like gummies.
But
Me too.
The
So
reason
you disagreed, yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I disagree is just I don't know, man. My wallet just hurts right after.
It does hurt.
Like where it's like, but also sometimes it's not the experience I'm always like paying for. Like sometimes you'll go and like maybe you didn't go early enough or something like that, and then your neck is sitting and you're like watching the screen while you're tilting up trying to see this big old screen, trying to see that experience with everybody else, and it's like you don't feel it.
This sounds like a Curtis problem. You got this too late.
No, but you gotta think about how many times did you go into a theater where it was like a sold out theater and maybe like there was like people just like scattered apart and you're not like you're with somebody and you're not alone and then you got to figure out a spot.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and now you have to reserve seats.
So what's a ticket price now? $14?
$5
Yeah,
ramen,
dude,
still?
it's up there. 15
$14,
popcorn.
I like to pay for the big ones.
So
The big ones are nice.
All right,
So-
so do you want to know the best cost-cutting tip?
Matinee in the hood.
No.
slip it in.
I don't think I've gone to a movie in the last 10 years as an adult ticket. I'm either a senior or I'm a child. Wow. I am forever.
Wow.
My
We do
God.
not condone this lying behavior.
I thought he was gonna say something different.
I get 3 children tickets or 3 senior tickets, and they never check. And I've probably saved thousands of dollars over the years doing that.
Yo, dude,
You know,
I've never heard somebody
that's the
waxing the
best
movie
you can get
theater.
away with it, Chris. Doesn't make us right.
Yeah, dude, that's actually insane, dude.
Jeez, Chris. Well, hey, no hate.
No, hey, man.
They don't check on
I
it.
thought you were gonna say something like that. We all do, like sneak in food, but no.
Well, that's just as much,
No
right?
lie.
You sneak in food. You're cutting, and I
True.
don't sneak in food.
True.
So.
I have to admit, I do sneak in food. So
What's the biggest thing you've sneaked in like to eat?
A whole pizza.
my wife will bring in like a venti coffee.
A family-size Lay's potato chip.
I sneak Curtis in my pocket.
Dude, I mean, I got creative. I bought like a liter of soda. I bought like
Cola?
pizza.
Liter Cola.
Liter.
Yeah.
You know that's from Liter of Cola?
It's what?
Liter of Cola. You know what that's from?
No.
Large Farva.
Super Troopers. My wife recently went to the theater with all the kids. She took like 6 kids like a week ago. I totally forgot about this. And she was in there and she said it was like a meth head party. And it was like in a nice theater. She's like, everyone in there outside. She's like, she was texting me when she was outside. She's like, there's a lot of like crackhead looking people out here. And I was like, well, just be weary. And then she texted me like 30 minutes later. She's like, I just got a refund. She's like, it was literally like insane in that place. People screaming, yelling. Like my kids were like, dude, people were moaning. And I was like, all right,
What?
take the gun with you.
Hey,
next
do you
time,
guys
honey."
finally disagree now? Just kidding.
Yeah, I know, right?
Imagine that's
I
your
just
experience.
Talked myself out.
No. All right, we're gonna go on to our next statement. We gotta switch it. Let's say Microsoft will never win another console war.
Oh, that hurts me to hear.
Yes.
I'm gonna say no.
I disagree with that.
Ricky?
I just think they're not going to make a console anymore. I think they're done doing
Really?
consoles. I think they're going to just straight up say, here's a PC. That's all you get, sucker.
He might not be far off with that. I don't even know if consoles themselves, like the actual console, will be much of a thing. Obviously, Stadia came out and failed miserably, but I feel
Yeah.
like the concept was there, but just not executed.
Plus, they're not putting much more money into it if you think about it. Like Microsoft, they're not putting their A titles out anymore. There's no more Gears. There's nothing like that I actually want to play on.
Well, even when they do, they're just lackluster. Like they put out a
That's
new
true.
Halo, and it was like everyone was like, we kind of we that came and went. But the only reason
Yeah.
I said no is because anything's possible. Like I don't know, they could come up with this new IP and it's this new game where everybody in the world is just like, this is the greatest game ever. I know Starfield is out right now, and I think that's a Microsoft exclusive, right?
I don't know. Actually, I would. Have to
I
look
think
that
it
up.
is, and I think it did pretty well, but not like crazy well. But you just don't know because there was a time when Atari and Coleco thought they were the kings, right? And then Mario gets created, and there was a time where Nintendo and Sega were around, and was like, nope, no one will ever beat us. And then someone new, Xbox popped in, right? And they were a king for that a generation. I think even Xbox 360.
360 was probably
They
their
were
best.
kind of like their goats.
It's 360 way outsold the PS3.
Yeah.
Way
and,
outsold.
and
it.
you just never know. They could come back. I don't know if they will, so I won't say no.
Who would you say is the console king right now?
Nintendo.
Is it Nintendo?
I think Sony is outselling. Maybe outselling. I don't know. We don't want to sound stupid. Ben, you know back there.
Performance wise, it's PlayStation. Nintendo, I would say, is winning the
Like units.
Units, yeah,
Units-wise.
sold and like more people like.
But I also feel like, they call them Sony ponies or Nintendo fanboys, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like Nintendo does have the largest, like,
Fan.
dedicated people who love what it is, right? Like, I think the vast majority will choose Sony over Xbox or Microsoft. But I feel like everyone, it's like they're not even in the fight. Like you see, like there's memes of like Sony and Xbox like punching each other, and then Nintendo's just up the side like eating popcorn because they're their own thing.
Well, because
So-
oh yeah, you go, Chris.
Well, I was going to say, if Nintendo is winning now, which I feel like they probably are, I bet you they've sold more
Oh, yeah,
units
for
than
sure.
Xbox. I don't know.
They
but-
were more accessible too. There was more of them made. Like they actually prepared for it.
Yeah, which to me is awesome, first off. Of course, love Nintendo. But when was the last time they were actually winning?
Who?
Nintendo against like PlayStation. When the PlayStation 1 came out, Sony, I believe, killed them.
And then PS2 also
And then
dominated.
PS2 killed them. And then Xbox 360 came out, and Nintendo had like the Wii U got destroyed. So when was the last time Nintendo actually won? Was it the Super Nintendo?
I don't know. I know when the Switch came out, it,
It
was
must-
like
Wow, actually-
I think the Switch.
We're
did
actually
pretty
wrong.
good.
Actually, in unit wise for console is actually PS5.
Wow.
And,
More than a Nintendo Switch.
for this year to date, yeah.
not
Not year to date, but like
2024.
overall.
for
That's like-
2023.
that's like
I mean,
5 days.
2024 just started, so I mean,
no, I want to know stats right now.
I have to look at the numbers, but I mean, like they're saying it like
Total.
Because if you do like December, you're gonna get like PlayStation 4, 5 because everyone already has the Switch.
Christmas.
Yeah, it has to be who has sold the most.
Overall.
Switch, PS5,
but then again,
or
are PlayStation's
Xbox
numbers
Series.
lower because people can't even get PlayStations?
yeah. It's actually
but
crazy.
that's a PlayStation problem.
So in December, this is from IGN. He said that they sold over 50 million units since this last year.
Switch?
PlayStation
Last year alone.
Last year alone.
I think because all of a sudden they were this was the first year that they've actually been readily available.
Yeah.
At MSRP of I think 400. They were.
I've still only ever seen one.
Do you want to know what's funny? Is I bet you a lot of those guys that were scalpers are like stuck with a ton of them right now.
I heard a bunch of people did.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some happiness to that.
Oh, it makes me happy.
The Switch was pretty readily available through all of that. I don't
Yeah.
remember that much scalping of that going on.
No, but it's kind of hard to hear, right? Like when you don't really see Xbox in contention because Microsoft just seems to want to buy a bunch of game developers, but they're not creating any exclusive titles for their console to save it, right? PlayStation has a few, like if you were to play God of War playthrough or Spider-Man, which that was a fantastic game, they're really not going too crazy with it. You know what I mean?
I feel like neither of them are. I will admit that I've been liking my PlayStation 5 now more than current Xbox, which I originally was all about new Xbox. I was kind of underwhelmed by both, but even though I am playing my PlayStation 5 more, I do look at it sometimes and I'm like, neither is blowing me away, right, with what they're offering me. I know there are the good games, there are the God of Wars, there are the Spider-Mans, but for some reason, I don't know if we just hit peak gaming or something, but or maybe because I'm not as young as I used to be when everything was exciting as the Super Nintendo. There's also something to it like movies. When you scroll Netflix, you could be scrolling through 50 masterpieces, but nothing sticks out because you're scrolling through 50 masterpieces. So even if I'm scrolling through the PlayStation Premium Store, the Xbox Game Pass, you could be scrolling past 50 games you don't even know are amazing, but it loses its lackluster because they're also available, right? Imagine being a kid in the 90s, going to a rental store and you see all the Super Nintendo games. Oh my gosh, it's insane. And you want to pick one. You're like, I'm going to get that one. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And you go home and it's ActRaiser and you fall in love with it, but you didn't know what it was. But imagine going to that same store and the guy's like, oh yeah, you could just pick all of them. You take all of them home. You're like, sweet. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then you go home and you're like, this one, put it in for 20 minutes. Next, because you know that all the other ones are there. So I feel like they just lose that like feeling of being special. So I feel like I haven't had a game feel special to me in like a while.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The other thing, I've been going more to playing my Switch more recently is because the simplicity of some of those games. Like, I'm playing Pikmin 4 right now, which I can pick up and just, I love it so much.
Ricky and I said like D tier.
I love it. And I can pick it up and play it for a little bit. And I know that the length of the whole game is probably like max 30 hours. Versus if I tried playing, what was the new game that came out that was like, it was Lies of Pi? Is it
Life of Pi?
Life of Pi?
Is that a movie?
No, Lies of Pi. It was the Pinocchio.
And I'm like,
it was the Pinocchio like Elden Ring type game.
There's a Pinocchio Elden Ring game?
Yeah. It's like where you play as the character.
what console?
Geppetto?
Pinocchio. No, you play as Pinocchio.
You play as Pinocchio.
Pinocchio style.
Okay,
it's like the story of it, but it's in like a modern futuristic thing.
Oh,
with,
see,
like,
you're making me think
puppets.
you're playing as Pinocchio, like fighting Geppetto and all this.
You are playing as Pinocchio, essentially, kind of.
So confused right now. This is a thing.
Yeah, but it's called Lies of Pi. You're kind of like Pinocchio, but it's in the world.
Lies of Pi, like
Lies of
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Yeah, Lies of Pinocchio.
Wow.
You didn't hear about this game at all?
Not at all.
It was pretty good. Well, it's pretty big. It's like
one to
Elden
add.
Ring. But I started playing it with my son because we liked Elden Ring. And within 2 hours of playing it, I was like, okay, I have to put this down. This is going to take me 200 hours to beat this game. Like, we've done nothing in 2 hours.
You know what always throws me off on games? When I play it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to love this game. I'm so excited. And then it's like, you unlocked this. And you're like, okay, sweet. I unlocked like a new skill set. And it's like, hit the skill set menu, hit it. And it's like a web. And you're like, oh my God, there's 7,000 upgrades. I'm like, I'm out.
That's what this game was. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to it'll take me the next year to beat that
Yeah,
game.
I do not have that time.
I just don't have the time for
True.
it. Pikmin, I can go, wee, just throw some Pikmin around.
That's hilarious.
Kill some of those little things.